Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we are working on the Schroll 32 project. As mentioned in the last video, we swapped some cars around and we're basically trying to do some in-between projects while we're waiting to get this car back on the lift so I can do the patch panels along the bottom of the car. One thing that I kind of tinkered with in the background in between doing work, major work on this car, was we could see some of the old green paint poking through the black primer on this car when we were tinkering with it, and I've really been dying to uncover some of that green paint. I've been doing some research, and I think the color that the car was painted back in the day was a the Ford Products color. I think it was used on Mercury's or Lincoln's in the early to mid 50s, and it was called Grove Green. It's kind of a almost like chartreuse type color, but very, very 50s, and I'm pretty sure that's what this car was painted. So the doors and a couple spots on the car, you could actually see the paint, but it's kind of like rust stained or yellowed a little bit over time. But I did a couple little tests when we were like off camera, like months ago, where I did like around the quarter windows and stuff. I took a little bit of Eastwood Pre on some steel wool or a scuff pad and soaked the scuff pad or the steel wool, real fine steel wool, and just worked over the area. And what it did is it actually kind of dissolved that primer. And as soon as I saw the primer, black primer, kind of dissolving and the green showing up, I took a clean rag, wiped it off, and then cleaned it with just a normal cleaner, and that brought up some green paint. So I knew I was onto something, but I had to wait to get the car a little further along. So I got some free time for the next day or two to work on the car. So I'm going to tackle trying to get as much of the old green paint to come back on this car. And also I'm going to try and get a lot of the surface rust on this car is just like surface dust. The car isn't like super rusty in a lot of spots. Sure, there's some spots that are pitted and a little rusty, but like a lot of it is there's paint underneath of it. We just have to like kind of get that paint to come out. So I'm going to use a process of using a bunch of different products to get that to work, and hopefully we can bring a lot of the green paint out and really show off what the car may have looked like back in the day. And I think it should be a pretty fun project, but it's gonna take some time. So let's see how we get on with it, and hopefully we have something that looks cool and I don't end up with something that's worse. I don't know if that's possible, but let's get started. All right, I'm wiping this. Got to the door here. You can actually see some of the numbers are coming up over that green paint, but under the black, you can little faintly see some of that. So I've been just touching it with the Scotch spray pad to kind of like break through the black pretty quickly. And you can see a number is coming up, or something's coming up right here under this. It's really cool. Trying to kind of break through the black primer to get down to the green, the old green paint underneath. And I'm taking the steel wool, which is a little less aggressive. Wipe it. You can see there's like a number or something coming up. We could see the A gasser on the side, but I think that might have been like 49 or something like that, which is really cool. But just anything we can do to get some more of this green paint to come up, I think would be neat. Kind of just playing at this point. Like I've mentioned since early on in this project, we may eventually someday restore this car, but for now, just getting the black paint, more of it off, and kind of expose some of the green is kind of cool. Some guys might like this, some guys might not. They might be screaming. But anything's better than sitting in a building forgotten. It's funny how on this door, just the way it kind of aged. I think like the tarp or something that was on it might have kind of fell off. It's cool to get that number to kind of come up there. I don't think there's any green left there.
No? Okay.
They have to be really careful. I don't want you to poke your eye out. Giant mouse nest. Mousie's made a home up here. Moon, don't eat that.
Moon, come here.
Don't eat it. You can sniff it, but don't eat it. Can't believe this header didn't rot out.
I can wait. A two-headed python.
Let's try this. Ooh, there we go. It's kind of ugly.
It's Chrome.
You'll get you home.
Hear that, Moon?
Maybe not.
Chrome will get you home.
I'll get your hose.
Oh, is that what it is? Chrome will get you dog treats.
I want to get you home, but it'll get you late. All right, so got the car all cleaned up and most all of the old black, like spray bomb, primer, or paint off of the car. And after I got that all done, I actually found on Facebook Marketplace, of all places, an old chrome, perfectly shitty, unchopped 32 closed car windshield for 5-window or sedan. And I had to test fit it. And we had to actually reshoot the outro because I was like, man, this thing looks so much cooler with a chrome windshield now. So we got this in. I'm waiting on some glass from Bob's Glass. And then we're going to be putting this thing, further together. But it's so cool how much the car has changed just by changing the color. Like, people are already have walked into the shop and been like, did you get another 32? I'm like, no, this is the Schroll Coupe. We're like, what? It looks totally different. So just bringing that green paint out and knocking the filth and grossness off of it. The car already looks way cooler. It looks like an old battle, drag car, and it just looks super cool. I'm so psyched on it. So it is kind of nice, gave me a kick in the pants. This is like the small victory stuff we're talking about. I was kind of got through all the floors and that stuff, and I was on a little bit of a lull of what to do next on the car. And doing this job just got me super motivated. So I'm really excited about how the car is coming out. Yes, it's not, if you're a paint restoration guy, this isn't, it isn't perfect, but I think the old character of these old hot rods is kind of some of the charm. So we're able to save that on this car. I'll be fixing the rust along the bottom of the doors and the cowl and behind the doors. We'll be fixing all that, and I'll blend in some black paint or some green paint, and it'll probably look right at home on the car. So now that we have this kind of done, I'm waiting on some parts, and we'll be jumping on doing, like I said, the windshield, building some headers, doing a bunch of different stuff on the car. We're moving pretty good, and maybe by the end of the season, before winter, we might be able to get this thing to run. Who knows? If we keep moving this good, it's definitely a possibility. Let me know what you guys think of the new paint scheme or the new old paint scheme on the Schroll Coupe. I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.